Welcome to Jules's recommendation corner. I've been recently thinking about books that I've read even years ago and years that I've read, things that I've read now, and books that I wish people um, more commonly either knew or have read. And I see a trend now where people read the more commonly popular books, but you don't see as many people mention some of the older books. So I'm going to be just doing a series of videos where it's themed recommendation, and today's is going to be dystopian novels. I utterly enjoy a dystopian novel because if you don't know what a dystopian novel is, it's basically a book portraying a society, whether it be the past, future, or now, usually in a state of ruin, usually post-apocalyptic, but it's an imagined state of society. It's not what we have right now. It's what people perceive society could turn into. It's usually pretty interesting what you can find. And I enjoy those type of books because it really makes you think. A lot of times it makes you extremely sad because of how realistic you can see those futures or those current societies happening. Now, the obvious ones for those is, of course, Hunger Games. Everyone pretty recently knows Hunger Games, whether you read the books or you watch the movies. And however you feel about them, I actually really, really enjoyed the books. I remember when they first came out, I binged through them. Now, granted, I was in my early 20s. And I thought they were great because they did have such good plot line. Like, the story made sense, even if in the end it felt a little too rushed. The first three books were at least really good for me. So I really enjoyed Hunger Games. And then, of course, the other book that almost everyone knows about is The Handmaid's Tale. Everyone has either watched the series or read the book. And definitely that one, it makes me sad and angry so much. And I hate it even more because of how realistic it has portrayed things and how close we seem to come to that life. And it makes me so angry and it makes me so sad. But those two I know most people have heard. And then one that I don't see many people mention that I wish more people had read, it used to be a school required book to read, is The Giver. Now, The Giver, it is a book, if you don't know it, The Giver is one man who lives in this society, and he is the holder of all past memories. And he is the wise member, so people, they would go to him, and he is the one who has the knowledge of all past pain and suffering. And the new people in these societies don't have pain and suffering. They take a pill every day so that they stay, everything is gray, there's no color. Everything is run on a system. You have only the people who are supposed to have babies. You have to sign up to have babies issued to you. There is very structured, super structured. And the males take pills so that they don't have hormonal issues. Same thing with women. Everything is very, very structured. And The Giver, there's one man. He's the holder of all pain, memories, everything. And it is a new person's turn to become the giver. So the giver starts to literally give these memories to the person. They'll touch, and the memories of everything that he holds inside him, he is now transferred to this young boy. And the young boy realizes how messed up his actual society is, and he realizes that when a baby is not of societal standards, and he is there's a young boy, a young baby that was brought into his family that they're pretty sure is gonna. So there's a whole story behind that. But even then, people who have read The Giver have only read The Giver, and there's actually 3 other books in the series, and it's The Giver, The Messenger. No, I'm sorry, The Giver, The Blue Shade, The Messenger, and The Sun. And they all are independent, and then they all come together in the end at The Sun. And it's actually a very warming and so sad of a story, but in the end, it will make you feel wholesome. But there's a lot of sadness to get through, just because you can see how people would think that this would be a society that they would want. And it's just so hard to have that thought, read about that, because every one of these books has the potential of people out there who would be like, oh, this is great, we should instill this. And they're not great. And then the last book that I would recommend is, I actually utterly love Brave New World. I enjoyed that book so much. It is a much older book, so it isn't talked about as much. And Brave New World, to me, when I read it when I was in my 20s, was a brain changer for me. It made me think so hard. And it is another one of those where like some parts of it, you're like, oh, okay, I can see how that makes sense in a society. That's okay. And then you get to the middle of that book and you're like, oh my God, this is horrendous. This is horrible. The way they treat people, the way they treat each other, the way they think about things. This is horrible. And in the end, it's so wrenchingly sad because of what happens to the secondary main character. But if you enjoy dystopian books, if you enjoy societies that have the potential of what people think society should actually be like, but aren't, and you want to go on that roller coaster ride of making your brain think, I highly recommend these 4 books. These are the 4 books that I would go to. All right, so this video has gotten long. I'm done now.